Cast your mind back just a few years when these guys were in the charts and they were absolutely rocking the joint, not just in the UK, but throughout the world. I'm talking about Go West, and joining us live on the line from the UK is the lead singer, Peter Cox. Good morning, or good evening, Peter.
Good morning to you, Mike. How are you doing?
We're wonderfully well, thank you, and absolutely rapt that you can have a chat with us today. I've got a confession to make. I absolutely loved the show that you were in with Tony Hadley, Reborn in the USA, a few years ago.
Yeah, that was quite an experience. I had to be persuaded. I wasn't sure that it was for me originally, but I'd spent some time in America, and that show allowed me to visit a lot of music cities that I hadn't visited before, and overall it was a great experience.
From a career perspective, because obviously it had been a little while since Go West had been in the charts, was it something of a bit of a relaunch for you and for Tony Hadley?
Well, Tony's been working really hard since he left Spandau, establishing himself as a solo artist. And certainly, as you say, I hadn't been on any national TV in the UK for quite some time. So, yeah, it was a good bit of exposure.
So what I'm looking at right now, and this is very exciting, because obviously here in Australia, we only pick up sort of little bits of information about the music scene back in the UK, but there's this great revival, and there's a huge show happening later on in the year called Let's Rock, and there's yourself, Adam Ant, Billy Ocean, ABC, Nick Kershaw. How did all of this come about?
We say the 80s revival has been going on longer than the 80s, and there's a number of these retrospective festivals, like the one you described. Let's Rock have 14 sites across the country here in the UK, and there's another brand called Rewind, which have 3 big sites. So, we get invited back year after year, and it's always a really good production, friendly backstage, and it's a chance for us to play to thousands of people at once, which we might not necessarily be playing to quite such a big audience in our own right. So it's, we just hope for good weather. Yeah. I hear you guys been having some weather down there. I hope everyone's keeping safe.
Peter, I can't even begin to describe it. You've probably seen some of the news pictures. I know they've gone around the world, but in the 8 years that we've lived here, we've never seen anything like it, and thanks for that.
Yeah. I wish everybody well. I hope you keep safe.
I really do appreciate that. So just looking at some of these shows, what's amazing, because I've seen some of the pictures of the crowds, and it's, people of my own age that grew up with this kind of music, but youngsters, you're attracting a whole new audience as well with these classic songs.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I've been talking a bit about this lately. There's something about the music of the 80s which seems to be standing the test of time. And obviously, the generation that grew up with this music and maybe fell in love the first time or thought they were falling in love have now gone on to have their families, and they're playing their kids that music. And there's something about it, the spirit, the energy, the melodies, maybe, hopefully the songs have stood the test of time.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's giving my age away. We were in Vegas a couple of years ago. We went to see Barry Manilow, and he said at the beginning, he's amazing. And he said at the beginning, the biggest difference between modern music and stuff from the 70s and 80s, he says, modern music doesn't have a melody. And it's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't think that's universally true, but I do think that there's less melody, let's say, very generally speaking, in contemporary music.
What I'm loving about your new song, which we're going to play in a couple of minutes, is that you've just completely thrown that theory out the window. It's got melody, it's got a hook, it's catchy, it's very, very pop, and I would say that this will appeal to a very, very wide audience.
Well, fingers crossed. I hope you're right, mate. I certainly was aiming to do all those things when I was writing during lockdown, like many other musicians around the world. We found ourselves at home. It's been quite a couple of years we've all been through. And so, I thought that I would write some songs which I thought might appeal to my hardcore fan base with all of those elements and a little touch of the 80s thrown in terms of the production and the sound. So, my fingers are crossed that you're right.
Well, we're very excited that we've got an exclusive airplay here in Australia for you as well. And just looking back to that 2 years where nobody was working, it was just shocking. The amount of creativity. We've spoken to so many performers and artists that have done their best writing during that 2 year period. How do you feel about that? Did that apply to you as well?
That's for other people to say, but at the same time, it definitely, after, the first couple of months of sitting wondering what we were all going to do and what was going to happen, it was a motivating factor to think, well, I can't just sit here doing nothing, so I better be creative. So I'm not the fastest writer, and of course recording remotely, as so many other people were doing with people and sharing files on the internet and so on. It was a tricky process, but at the same time, I got a lot of great people involved, and I'm really pleased with the result.
And so you should be. The production on this is great. We're going to play it in just a couple of seconds. And we are heading back for a holiday to the UK in a few months' time. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that you might be playing somewhere. And if so, I shall let you know, and we'll come and see you.
Thank you very much, mate.
And if you guys, I know, for 2 years, nobody's been allowed in or out of Australia. But, if you ever think of would these revival shows go well in Australia? They certainly would.
Well, we have been out on tour in Australia a few times now. It tends not to be quite such a big bill, but I've been out with Paul Young, I've been out with Nick Kershaw and Cutting Crew, and it's genuine when I say that I love coming to Australia. I've learned now to factor in a holiday at the front end of any tour that I do so that I can adjust to the time difference and enjoy the country, which I really do, and we all of us really love playing in Australia. So, yeah, fingers crossed, for a peaceful future when we can all travel more easily, and we'll be there at the first opportunity.
Well, we'll have you in the studio at that first opportunity for sure, Peter. An absolute joy to chat to you. Thanks for staying up. But as I said on the preview, musicians are up until 2 o'clock in the morning, sleep till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I know how it works.
Yes, I'm not an early riser, that's for sure.
Peter, we're going to play your song now. It's called Too Far Gone, and I'm guessing it's available on all forms of digital download as well?
From March the 18th, absolutely.
Fantastic. Peter, thanks again for being with us on 101 FM this morning.
Cheers, Mike. Have a good day.
I can't stop thinking about you. It's all I do. The days gone dreaming about you. What else is new? I've been here, I should know better. I never learned. I am a fool to the letter. I'm past the point of no return. I'm just too far gone. And you can't talk me down, 'cause I'm too far gone. And I can't hear a sound. I'm too far gone. I got no time for the real world and all its extremes. If I can't have you in the real world, I guess I'm gonna live in dreams, 'cause I'm too far gone. And you can't talk me down, 'cause I'm too far gone. And I can't hear a sound. I'm too far gone. I don't wanna give you up. You are a heartbeat's fall. Knowing that you're out of reach just makes me want you more. I'm too far gone. If I can't have you in the real world, I guess I'm gonna live in dreams, 'cause I'm too far gone. And you can't talk me down, 'cause I'm too far gone. And I can't hear a sound. I'm just too far gone. You can't talk me down, 'cause I'm too far gone. And I can't hear.
The song is called Too Far Gone. Peter Cox from the legendary band Go West, and Jason Daisy, if you're listening this morning, eat your heart out, mate. Challenge is on. Over to you.
I can't hear the sound. I'm just too.
What a nice guy as well, Peter Cox. Amazing. And thank you to our resident photographer, the Phantom Flasher, Michelle Kopp, for organising that.